All right, everybody, welcome into Tuned Into NoCo. I'm Ashlee, and today I have the opportunity to speak with two awesome individuals from the Harrington Arts Alliance. We got the executive director, Brittany with us, and actor Elliot Harrington with us. So first off, you guys, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Before we get into the show you guys are putting on, can you tell our listeners what the Harrington Arts Alliance is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a nonprofit performing arts studio located in Loveland, and we serve about 450 students every year. About 60% of the kids that we see are at-risk youth in our community, and we do 12 to 15 productions every year.
Wow.
With kids as young as 4, and then we have shows where we have adults as well. All ages, really. And we have different programs we offer throughout the year. Basically, our goal is to keep children and adults engaged and, having a creative outlet opportunity all year round.
Definitely. What programs do you guys offer this summer in particular?
Yeah, so we're currently finishing up our last summer camp. It's all-day summer camp for kids. Right now, it's our group that's ages 5 to 9, and it's a 2-week summer camp. So it ends next Friday. They just started yesterday.
So at these summer camps, do you mainly teach just acting? What do you guys teach?
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's all things theater. So we have costume design. We have set design. They do writing of their own skits. They do singing, dancing, and acting.
Cool.
Yeah, and every day they have a mindfulness exercise that the kids do half an hour before lunch, partially to calm them down before lunch, but also, to just kind of get them thinking about, how their world is going and how they're feeling in their bodies and minds and things like that.
Totally. So why do you think these summer camps are so important for these kids?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is having an outlet that keeps you engaged in the summer, keeping you active. I think in the summer, a lot of kids can kind of hide away and,
stay in front of the TV playing games.
Absolutely. And, since COVID, it's been really important for us to make sure to give kids an opportunity to kind of pull themselves out of the rut that all of us were in for a long time. So
definitely. And I myself have a background in performing arts, and I've seen with students that I have taught, it helps them obviously break out of their shell. They're not as shy anymore. Have you guys experienced kind of the same deal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our mission statement is all about building self-confidence, through the performing arts as your outlet to build that self-confidence. And we see so many kids that come in the first day of camp or the first rehearsal for a show, and they're super quiet and timid. And then by the end of camp or by the end of performances, they've blossomed and have opened up and all of these things. So it's amazing to kind of see how everyone is different, but we all end up in the same spot by the end of the journey because everyone really comes together and becomes more aware of themselves and what they're able to bring to the table as a performer.
Definitely. Well, now let's switch gears. So you guys are putting on the Rocky Horror Picture Show this August 5th through the 7th at the Lincoln Center. So that's super exciting. I love the Lincoln Center. What should people know about the show?
Yeah, so the show is wild for sure. It's the movie. Everyone knows the cult classic, and it's my goal as the director was to walk a fine line of what the movie was, but also doing our own spin on it.
Yeah.
Elliot here, he plays the character Riff Raff, who's the butler
awesome.
type. And so, having a spin on that classic character, I can kind of let him talk to you a little bit about his vision. But it's been a wild ride. I really like to do shows that kind of push the envelope. And this one definitely does in a lot of different ways. So it's been a blast, really, really fun. It's definitely a wild ride.
And if people would like to get tickets for this show, can they get them at the Lincoln Center? Or?
Yeah, it's on the Lincoln Center website. It's lctix.com. Okay. And it's all through them. We usually perform at our own studio in Loveland, but every summer we do a big musical and we rent the Lincoln Center for our big musical.
How exciting. That's awesome. I also noticed you can be a sponsor, and you guys have different levels of sponsorship. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our goals this year is to build our sponsorship levels and opportunities to other businesses in the community. You know, we've been open for 11 years, and it's been an outlet we haven't really looked too much into with getting support from the community. Obviously, I apply for grants all the time, and that's a whole other ball game. But we have sponsorship levels as low as $500 all the way up to $10,000 if you want to sponsor a show. Rocky Horror is obviously a lot more expensive to put on because it's a big show. And so, you know, our budget is close to $8,000. And so having businesses help kind of cushion that and sponsor, and then they can be in our program and our T-shirts and all of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going back a little bit, how did you guys decide to put on the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Like, I'm sure you had a few different productions you were looking at. So what made you decide on this one?
That's a great question, and something I struggle with every year. So it's, you know, I try to do things that I know the actors want to do. They throw names at me of shows all the time, and most of the time I'm like, no. And so, so I thought, you know, a lot of our actors really wanted to do this show, and I just said, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Elliot, how did you prepare for your part? Were you excited for this production?
Yeah, so before auditioning, I actually had never really, I mean, of course I've heard of Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I'd never seen it or anything. Yeah. But I saw it at CSU when they put it on, and it was just so fun and engaging with the audience, and I just had a blast as an audience member. Yeah. So I knew, I was like, I want to be on the stage, and I want to be one of these roles because it's just so fun and classic, and it's just been such a great time with all the dancing and all the character work. I've just had a blast this summer.
And did you go out for Riff Raff?
I did, yes. I auditioned for Riff Raff, and here we are.
That's sweet. So how many people are in this production total?
I think there's about 30, a little less than 30 maybe.
Wow, nice. How's rehearsing going? Have you guys have probably been super busy.
Yeah, so we've just been kicking butt doing all these dances, blocking, and we just had a break during 4th of July, so we're coming back again tonight.
Nice.
And so I'm super excited with that. A bunch of vocals, just plucking out the notes, because all the songs are so classic, and so we've been working a lot with vocals and all that jazz.
That's awesome. And I know like a lot of people don't understand like all of the moving parts that go into a production and how hard it is and how much time it takes. So when did you guys initially decide on this, and how long has it been? Been like months, I assume.
So because of the way that our calendar at HAW, we call it HAW, Harrington Arts Alliance, is structured, because we do 12 to 15 shows every year, we only have about 8 to 12 weeks per show. Sometimes we have less than that. Like in the summer, we do a kids show in June for 4 weeks, and we do a kids show in July for only 3 weeks. So every show is kind of different. I know, we're crazy. I know. And somehow the kids magically totally do it, you know, and our staff is amazing. We have a great team of directors. You know, when we first started, it was just me and my brother Brandon who were the main directors of everything. And because we've gotten so big, we've had to branch out and hire other directors, Elliot being one of them for the kids show in June. Yeah. So it's, you know, it's every show is so different. Yeah. But for Rocky specifically, you know, we had auditions in May. We start rehearsing in June. We open first weekend in August.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive. 8 to 12 weeks. That's really impressive. You guys are pros at it by now with 8 to 12 shows a year.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's like clockwork for sure.
For our listeners who might not be aware, like most of the time shows, it's like what? Minimum, it's like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. So that's impressive. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard, go see Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's happening at the Lincoln Center August 5th through the 7th. You can get tickets at lctix.com. How much are tickets?
Tickets are $19, and it is assigned seats. So I think we're going to sell out really fast because of what it is. So I recommend people getting online right away and getting tickets.
All right, you guys heard that. Get to it. If someone is interested in getting involved in these Productions. What should they know? Where should they go?
Yeah, so our website, harringtonartsalliance.org, has all of our classes going on. It has all of our audition information. You don't have to, there's no prerequisites to audition. You can just come in. We're always looking for new actors and to build our community. But yeah, it's all of our information is on our website. And we also, have Instagram and Facebook, but our website is always up to date and has all of the information there for you.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So I want to kind of delve into how you guys got into this. So personally, what's your story? How did you guys get involved in Harrington Arts Alliance?
Yeah. Well, that takes it way back. Both my parents were drama teachers, and my dad was retiring from teaching after 33 years, and he said, we need to move. We lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, and, we just couldn't afford to live there. I had just graduated from college. They're like, let's move, and we decided on Loveland, Colorado. And my brother Brandon and his family weren't far behind. They moved out here a year later, and Brandon and his wife Lauren decided, instead of going into teaching, which is what they were doing, they wanted to open up a performing arts studio. And
Cool.
The need was definitely there in Loveland, and what we offer is so unique. And so that's kind of how HA happened. And I was always helping. I was directing and things like that. But I didn't take over full time until 2014. My brother had to go back to teaching to pay the bills. It's really hard to start a business, especially in the arts. And luckily enough, my husband was able to support us, and I could just volunteer my time and help HA grow. And it has immensely. And we turned into a nonprofit, which has been a huge thing. And so theater's always been in my blood. I was on stage when I was born. That's just kind of, how our family has operated. So yeah, I'll let Elliot share.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so similar to what Brittany said, theater's just kind of been in the family forever. I remember, I don't really remember this because I was 5 days old, but my parents will tell me, and how I was on the stage. I was just birthed or whatever, and I was on the stage of Aida. And so I've really just been on the stage ever since I was born. I think I've been in 50 plus productions, 2 of them being ones I have directed. So directing is a new experience for me, and I've enjoyed it so much, just looking at the big picture. Like you said earlier, there's so many moving parts, and just really being the lead of that has been very intimidating, but also just such a fun experience. And I love working with kids, and just seeing them shine on stage is just, it's so rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. If people would like to donate to your organization, can they?
Yes, please. We take all donations. That's also on our website. There's a donate and sponsor tab on our website.
Okay.
You can donate through PayPal, and it has options too if you want to be a different kind of sponsor or sponsor a student and do scholarships and things like that. We're always looking for donations. It's really hard, like I said, to run a business. And during COVID, having to shut down, we couldn't have survived without the support of our community and donating. And we were able to purchase our building in 2020.
Oh, awesome.
Which was a huge undertaking because they were selling it and we're like, we either close now or we figure out how to buy our building.
Yeah.
So, we're just so blessed for the support that we have had.
Definitely.
But yeah, donations are always
For sure.
Appreciated.
What's your address?
We are 575 North Denver Avenue, Loveland, Colorado, 80537.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, you heard. You can go see their show, Rocky Horror Picture Show, happening at the Lincoln Center August 5th through the 7th. Again, you can get tickets at lctix.com. If you want more information on how to donate or how to sponsor, you can visit harringtonartsalliance.org. Guys, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you so
you.
much for having us.
Absolutely.